Unafraid Show, Reister or Wrong. It's your boy, George Reister in the building. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate your time, appreciate your energy per the usual, and always visit unafraidshow.com. Great articles up about all the stuff that we talk about here from some fabulous writers, including myself. And also, swipe up, share the feed, like the feed, and most importantly, always tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Unafraid Show needs to grow. We have big goals. Number one YouTube and podcast in the country. Lofty goals, but we can achieve them. Great interviews coming up as well. Today, we have a cool topic. We have some cool things up. Big Boy and Travis Scott are performing at the Super Bowl. So the question is, are they sellouts for performing at the Super Bowl halftime? Because a lot of people are calling them that, and we're going to address that. And also, what Steph Curry taught me about manhood, about being a man, professional athlete, and how to handle your life, your family, all of these things. So I want to talk about those. Both the articles about those things are up on unafraidshow.com as well. So I want to start with the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is a big deal. The Super Bowl is a big deal. So there's a ton of people that sit on different sides of the Super Bowl argument, the NFL argument, because of Colin Kaepernick. Because he's obviously been blackballed, regardless of whether you feel it's justified or not. Everybody knows the man's been blackballed. It's not because he's not talented enough that he's not in the NFL. It's for other reasons, clearly. So there have been people like Rihanna, Jay-Z, Cardi B, who said that they turned down performing at the Super Bowl halftime out of show of solidarity to Colin Kaepernick, which is cool, which is dope, which is their choice. So the question is, can you be on, can you perform at the Super Bowl like Travis Scott and Big Boy are doing and still be for the cause? That's the question. Because it's a lot of people that are doubting if you can be for the cause. They say, oh, you're a sellout. First of all, we always have to consider this. Is you always have to stand up for it. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I 100% agree with that. And yes, you do need to be able to sacrifice, be willing to sacrifice it all for your core beliefs and the things that you stand for the most. 100% believe that. But at the same time, like, these are artists. This is their career. This is a big stage. This is an opportunity. And when you don't take the microphone, when you don't take the opportunity to speak, you let other people speak for you. And that's one knock that I've had on Colin Kaepernick before we even get into the Travis Scott and Big Boy thing. That's one knock I've had on Colin Kaepernick. He has been silent throughout this whole thing. People have stood up for him. They've spoken. And when you are called to be a leader, when you are thrust into that situation, regardless of whether that's what you wanted or not, if this is a cause that you're standing up for, you have to embrace it. And Colin Kaepernick has not done that. And that's one thing I do not like, aside from him not voting as well. But are Travis Scott and Big Boy sellouts? This is the Super Bowl, man. This is one of the biggest stages. This is probably going to be the most watched event of 2019, and it's happening in January. Nowhere will there be as many eyeballs until the Olympics. I mean, that's literally the next time you're going to have this many eyeballs on an event besides the next Super Bowl. You've had Madonna, Michael Jackson, all type of greats performing at the Super Bowl. So who turns down the right to, or the opportunity to play at the Super Bowl? Do people turn down the opportunity to play at the Super Bowl who can't sell out arenas? No. Travis Scott gets fans. He can sell out a basketball arena. But a football arena, totally different. It raises your platform to an upper echelon. And here's the other thing that Travis Scott did that I want to talk about. He made the NFL agree to match his $500,000 donation to Dream Corp. Yeah. So some people are saying that that's just a cover for him to be able to perform at Super Bowl halftime. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that. I think that Travis Scott has a heart for the cause, for helping inner city youth with opportunities, with helping them out of the struggle, teaching them a better way and a better mentality and a better way to do things. I believe that that's where Travis Scott's heart is. So the point is that you can have a different point of view and a different point of reference and still be for the cause, still be for supporting black men who are killed. Not even just black men, but minorities who are abused by the police. You can still be for that cause and play at the Super Bowl. Because here's one thing that I think that people who are aligned with causes mistake, whatever your cause is that everybody's role is supposed to be the same. Some people are supposed to be out front. Some people are supposed to be making change from within. Some people are supposed to be somewhere in the middle. Some people are going to be very outspoken. I mean, it's the same thing, whether it's faith, whether it's support of a team. Some people are fanatics, face painting, and some people just buy tickets and buy their kids' uniforms. Like, there's the whole spectrum of support. And if you're trying to knock somebody for their level of support, that's like small time thinking. That's small-minded thinking. And we have to be able to think on a bigger scale than just how I would do it, how I see fit. See what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. Like we have to be willing to leave room that there is something different besides the roles that we believe. And then there's the Atlanta issue. Atlanta is one of the hubs of hip hop. You had Jermaine Dupri, the Brat back in the day. You had, like a lot of the South rap came, the Goody Mob, all these people came from the South, and Atlanta needed to be represented in the Super Bowl. And Big Boy is a person who does a ton in the Atlanta community. He's got a kid going to college. He's a role model in the community for kids to do better. And when you are that level of person in your community, you can't just sit back and not participate when things are in your city. You have to use your platform to help other people. And just removing yourself from the platform is not the only way to help. I refuse to believe that removing yourself from the platform is the only way to help. Because truth be told, the reality is, do you know how many people are going to watch the Super Bowl? A lot of these people calling Travis Scott and Big Boy sellouts, they're going to be front and center with their friends and family watching the Super Bowl. So how dare you call somebody a sellout when you are going to be watching the game yourself or participating in Super Bowl festivities? You're participating in a pool, don't say nothing about them. If you do anything regarding it, don't say anything about either one of them, because there are multiple ways to support the cause. And I'll tell you this, is that if that's the only way that people are going to, if that's the only way that they're going to judge support, then guess what? Count me out too. Because there are things that I do. I speak up about things. But at the same time, I don't do things that other people do, and that's fine. You do you. We're both in support of the same thing. As long as we have the same goal and the same passion, then it's fine. Just like Martin Luther King and just like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you have Democrats who are and Republicans. Some of them lean more conservative, some lean more liberal, some are moderates. They're all trying for the same cause. That does not mean that somebody else is a sellout. And we have to stop associating these terms with people who are a part of the same cause, which only cause division. which leaves you nowhere. This is the divide and conquer strategy. If they can get people within the cause to fight, guess what? The cause is null and void. So let's stop being small-minded thinkers and think bigger and say, you know what? I'm bigger than just one idea. I'm bigger than just Travis Scott and Big Boy at the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm bigger than that. I think bigger than that. Next thing up. I've been talking about manhood a lot lately. And I wanted to talk about Steph Curry. I wrote an article on unafraidshow.com called What Steph Curry Taught Me About Manhood, Masculinity, and Stability. Because it's actually an article that I wrote a few years ago for Jason Whitlock's site, J School. So I just repurposed it a little bit because I felt like it was important and it was very timely. Because it's really a journal of my life and my path as a man, from coming from a kid all the way up to the 37-year-old I am now. So it literally took Steph Curry's domination for me to fully realize the power and masculinity of his stability in his life. Because when I was in high school, college, I believed the myth. I believed the myth that you had to be from the struggle, that you had to come from the bottom, socioeconomically disadvantaged. You had to be from the hood to be tough. And that unless you came from that, you didn't have the same desire and fight as the other guy. Like that you needed to be from a broken home and you need to be disadvantaged and have some street cred. And that's what leads to people doing and being a certain way because they want that validation. And I was the same way. I was a kid. I was from the valley. I didn't live in a nice neighborhood. Was originally from Memphis. Went to private schools. And I always had a chip on my shoulder feeling like I got to show everybody that I'm as tough as everybody else. I'm as big and bad as everybody else. And that leads you to making decisions that are harmful to your life. Like you want to be that alpha dog. Like you want to, like every man wants to be the biggest and the baddest dude around. Like you want that machismo. You want that respect of other men. And in the locker room, in professional sports especially, you have alpha dogs that came from all over the country. And then when they get into the locker room, everybody in the locker room is trying to be the alpha of all the alpha dogs. And so the question is, how do you, and this the question that all athletes are trying to solve. What optimally can help me be the best I can be and to be successful? Athletes spend a ton of money and time on their body, healing their body, massage therapists, stretches, all type of doohickeys and gadgets. All of these things. And we don't spend the same amount of time getting yourself as mentally fit as you are physically fit. And people don't understand that choosing stability and a traditional home life can help you, as opposed to being a bachelor and running around, trying to knock everything down, trying to have sex with all the women, all the baddest chicks around. What does that actually do? Does the hassle of going out to the club, staying out late, not getting as much sleep, trying to chase women around, not making sure, and then trying to wonder who's calling, subconsciously hope she's not trying to go through my phone. Is she trying to unlock my phone with my face while I'm asleep? Is she using my thumb? Any of that distracts and takes away from the energy that you need to be putting into your athletic career or your regular career. These are the things I'm talking about. Like all the energy that we spend, us men and women nowadays too, spend on things that are not progressing us to our goals is actually taking us away from our goals. And people don't realize that, because I believed that the chaos that was my life, that I didn't think was chaos because I was living in it and it was my normal. I didn't believe that those things detracted away from my athletic career and all my hopes and dreams. But not realizing that that takes energy. It takes energy to manage your personal life. Especially when you got more than one person. You got her to juggle, her feelings, and, all of these things as well. And then your regular life as well. I mean, how else do you explain a 6'2" beanpole Steph Curry who couldn't land a major scholarship being one of the best basketball players on the planet? Single focus. He didn't have or wasn't using the distractions of life to hold him back as well. I'll give you another example of a guy who did that. LeBron James. LeBron James now and LeBron James in the beginning of his career, two separate people. Not even the same. He's matured. He's become a man in front of us. Family man, stable, taking care of his responsibilities. How do you think that he can manage all the off the basketball court stuff that he does, still maintain his basketball life without being stable? Really think about that and consider that. It's not possible. That's what makes LeBron James so great. Is the same thing that makes Steph Curry so great. Is their stability, their willingness to give up the life and sacrifice the life that we thought we all wanted and hone in on your goals. I mean, that's why married men, really think about it. They make more money. They live longer. All of these things, because they're not focused on a lot of the BS. Yes, some men stray. Some men do all of that. I'm not denying that, which also leads to other things, which usually end up hurting your career, even if not in the short term, but in the long term. Because I know for me, I grew up in church. I looked up to my dad, and he was the pillars of stability and integrity. Like, if you told my dad, if you gave him a bag with $1 million in it and asked him to hold it for 10 years and bring it back on January 28th at 2:12 in 2029, and he agreed, it would be right there every single dollar. I mean, and I always admired the Tony Dungys, the Kurt Warners of the world, but I couldn't reconcile the life I wanted, which was like that, with the life I created. I had the alpha dog status, chaos in my life, juggling women all over the place, had drama, baby mama in the club, making poor financial choices because of these things. I mean, these are things that I've learned in my own life. And even after I was done playing in the NFL, life was still unstable and chaotic. I didn't even realize it because you normalize chaos. I mean, I just think, imagine if I had took my ass to sleep, wasn't in the club, training a little bit harder, single focused on my life after football. Would have finished school sooner, would have done a whole bunch of things differently. And as soon as I began to remove the chaos from my life and then remove that idea of the toughness that I had to have around me, because the true toughness is in abstaining from these things, because it's super easy to do it. Like that's where we get things confused, strength and weakness. We look at the guy who is stable, regimented, and has a schedule and is focused as the corny guy. What kind of sense does that make? He's the guy who's actually doing the hard thing, the guy who's being disciplined, the guy who's going home to his wife, the guy who's taking care of his kids, the guy who looks like LeBron and Steph Curry. That's where our goals and aspirations have to be at. The path of high integrity and character is difficult. Like, it's the struggle of that builds toughness. It's easy to be weak. It's easy to go holler at a chick because she got a fat ass. It's easy to do that. It's actually harder to not do it. So we actually have to retrain our thinking instead of saying that this is manhood. No, the actual manhood and the strength is actually operating in character, doing what you say you're going to do. Because if you're a guy who is just open and honest about whatever it is that you're doing, that's different. Then you have more stability in your life. And so for me, watching Steph and his life and seeing all the accomplishments and achievements without a stain, he's still cool, still has swag. But guess what he's not going to be? He's not going to be on TMZ. He's not going to be on Media Takeout on some scandal because he's handling his business. All of these dudes have careers after they finish playing. And I like that. A dude that I played with that was like that, a guy named Donovan Darius. He played and he was regimented, worked hard, had his family, didn't waste his free time on frivolous things. Guess what? Great career. Made a bunch of money, didn't make negative headlines, kept himself marketable, able to make money endorsements. Now, what's the problem with that? There's no problem with that. That's actually like smart business. But we point to the wrong things as masculinity and manhood. And we got to stop that. Same way with Travis Scott and Big Boy in the Super Bowl. We can't call them sellouts. There's nothing sellouts about them. They are people furthering their career, staying focused, while at the same time helping other people. I mean, damn. We got to stop with the small-minded thinking. We got to expand our horizons and not just stay in this small-minded thinking that we have. You guys, the articles are up on unafraidshow.com. You guys make sure you check them out. Swipe up, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. We will be back in a couple days. I appreciate it, guys. And yeah, you guys are my what do they call them? P1s. You guys are the P1s. The people been there since the beginning. Appreciate it. Peace out. Catch you guys later.